Most people don't struggle with money because of how much they earn. They struggle because of how they think about what they don't have. You can have a decent job, some savings, even opportunities around you, and still feel trapped. And then there are people with less than you who somehow feel calmer, take bigger steps, and keep growing. The difference isn't luck. It's the mindset you carry every day without realizing it. You might already feel it, that quiet fear in the background when you think about money, time, or opportunities. The voice that says, "What if I lose this?" Or "What if it's not enough?" You hesitate before taking a risk. You hold back from investing in yourself. You compare yourself to others and feel behind even when nothing is actually wrong. You tell yourself you're being realistic, but deep down it feels like you're stuck in survival mode. You work hard, but your mind is always chasing something that seems just out of reach. You think, once I have more money, I'll feel safe. Once I get that one break, everything will change. But no matter what you achieve, the feeling doesn't leave. It just shifts to the next goal. That constant tension isn't about your situation. It's about the lens you're looking through. The real gap in life is not between rich and poor, or lucky and unlucky. It's between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. Scarcity says, there isn't enough. I might lose what I have. I need to protect, hold, and avoid mistakes. Abundance says, there is more to learn, more to create, more to become. I can build, I can grow, I can try again. At first, this may sound like positive thinking versus negative thinking. It's not. It's much deeper. Scarcity quietly shapes your decisions, your habits, your relationships, and your future without you ever naming it. Abundance is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about how you respond when it isn't. Here's where it becomes powerful. A scarcity mindset focuses on what is missing. An abundance mindset focuses on what is possible. Whatever your mind focuses on expands. And that single difference changes how you spend, how you save, how you learn, how you take risks, and how you see yourself. But this is where most people get it wrong. They assume they will develop an abundance mindset after they become successful. The truth is uncomfortable. Success usually follows it, not the other way around. Let's go deeper. Imagine you're offered a new opportunity. Could grow your skills, your income, or your network. Scarcity immediately asks, what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I lose what I already have? Fear of loss becomes stronger than the possibility of gain. You step back. You wait. You think about it. Time passes. The chance disappears. Abundance asks a different question. What could this teach me? Even if it doesn't work, who could I become from trying? The same situation, two lenses, completely different lives. Scarcity makes you cling to comfort. Abundance makes you curious about growth. Here's the part nobody tells you. Scarcity isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It lives in small choices. It's when you say yes to things you don't want because you fear saying no. It's when you refuse to invest in learning because you think, what if it doesn't pay off? It's when you stay in the same routine because change feels risky, even if staying hurts. Abundance also lives in small choices. It's when you read, ask questions, experiment, and learn without needing instant rewards. It's when you see failure as feedback instead of a final judgment. It's when you stop competing with everyone and start competing with who you were yesterday. Think about money for a moment. Scarcity makes you obsess over price. Abundance makes you think about value. Scarcity buys cheap repeatedly. Abundance may pay more once to grow, to learn, or to improve. Scarcity says, I can't afford to lose. Abundance says, I can't afford to stay the same. Now look at time. Scarcity spends time escaping discomfort. Abundance spends time building capability. Scarcity fills days with distraction. Abundance uses small pockets of time to make progress, even slowly. And relationships. Scarcity asks, what can I get from this person? Abundance asks, how can we grow together? Scarcity fears someone else winning, as if their success takes away your chance. Abundance understands that someone else's growth does not reduce your potential. It often expands it. But this is where most people get stuck. Scarcity feels safe. It feels responsible. Feels careful. Your nervous system likes familiarity more than uncertainty, even if familiarity is holding you back. Abundance feels uncertain because growth always includes uncertainty. And yet, almost everything you admire came from someone choosing growth over comfort. Let's open another loop. Think about how you talk to yourself when something goes wrong. Scarcity says, "Of course, this always happens to me. I should have known not to try." Abundance says, "This hurts, but it's information. What can I adjust? What does this teach me about myself?" Same event, completely different story about your identity. Scarcity builds a fragile identity. I am someone who must not fail. Abundance builds a resilient identity. I am someone who can recover and learn. And resilience, not perfection, is what quietly compounds over years. Here's a metaphor. Imagine your mind as a flashlight in a dark room. Scarcity points the beam at empty shelves and closed doors. Abundance points it at tools, ideas, and paths you haven't walked yet. The room didn't change. The direction of the light did. Another story. Two people lose their job on the same day. The first person spirals into fear. No one will hire me. I'm not good enough. I'm running out of time. They freeze, avoid action, and shrink their world. The second person also feels fear. They're human too. But they ask, what skills do I have? Who can I talk to? What can I build in the meantime? They take small, imperfect steps. Those steps open doors that never existed before the loss. Abundance doesn't erase fear. It moves despite it. Now let's talk about one of the strongest traps: comparison. Scarcity turns other people into measurements of your worth. You see someone younger, richer, faster, more confident, and your mind whispers, "You're behind." You start rushing decisions. You panic spend. You force outcomes. You exhaust yourself. Abundance sees the same people and thinks, "Proof it's possible. What can I learn from them?" You shift from envy to curiosity, from insecurity to study. That single shift changes how you feel around successful people. Instead of shrinking, you expand. Here's the part that changes everything if you understand it. A scarcity mindset is not fixed. It is practiced. An abundance mindset is not gifted. It is also practiced. Every day, through tiny choices, you reinforce one of them. When you avoid hard conversations, you practice scarcity. When you learn to communicate honestly, you practice abundance. When you procrastinate because things aren't perfect, you practice scarcity. When you start before you feel ready, you practice abundance. When you hoard information and fear sharing ideas, you practice scarcity. When you contribute, teach, and collaborate, you practice abundance. You don't become one overnight. You train your brain in that direction through repetition. Now, let's look at the deepest level of all, identity. Scarcity makes you define yourself by what you lack. I'm not talented enough. I'm not confident enough. I'm not disciplined enough. Abundance shifts identity to becoming instead of lacking. I'm learning discipline. I'm building confidence. I'm developing skills. This shift matters because your brain works to stay consistent with who you believe you are. When you see yourself as someone who is becoming, growth stops feeling like a threat. It becomes your natural direction. So how do you begin living more in abundance without pretending life is perfect? You start small. You start by noticing when your first thought is fear of loss. You pause. You ask a different question. What is possible here? What can I learn? What would the braver version of me do next? You don't need to jump into massive risks. Abundance is built through small, courageous actions repeated over time. You read instead of endlessly scrolling. You invest in learning a skill instead of only chasing comfort purchases. You speak up instead of staying silent. You take responsibility instead of only blaming circumstances. Slowly, you stop seeing life as a fight for scraps and start seeing it as a field of creation. Same world, different you. And yes, there will still be setbacks, disappointments, and seasons of uncertainty. Abundance doesn't cancel difficulty. It changes how difficulty shapes you. Scarcity asks, why is this happening to me? Abundance asks, how can this grow me? Scarcity shrinks during pressure. Abundance builds strength under pressure. Over years, those two paths don't just lead to different results. They lead to different versions of you. So pause for a moment. Which mindset have you been practicing, not in theory but in daily choices? Which questions do you ask yourself more often? Which identity feels more familiar? If you recognize scarcity in yourself, that awareness alone is not a failure. It's the turning point. It means you're starting to see the invisible habits that have been steering your life. And if this made sense to you, it's not accident. It means a part of you is already shifting from surviving to expanding, from counting what's missing to building what's possible. You don't need permission to change that direction. You just need to decide which mind you will practice living in starting now.